a young film. It's a film about people wanting to live life to the excessive. It's about glamour, it's about parties, it's about music, it's about fun, it's about drugs, it's about sex. But most of all, soundtrack is a story of the triumph of a human spirit. It's a story which of a person who overcomes the one thing which you think he can't.
Raunak had something every DJ wanted: magical instincts.
So for me, DJ Raunak is a wonderful character, essayed wonderfully by this young man Rajiv. And it's a very real character because here's this guy who comes from a small town to make music. And he gets a break.
Raunak is a guy who has music flowing in his blood, who loves parties, who loves all the extremes of life. Basically, he's an extremist and who doesn't cross boundaries. I guess boundaries cross him. So he's one mad character which probably I'm portraying for the first time.
He was working as a music composer in the day, and by night he was a DJ. And going from home to studio, studio to the club, club to the studio was just burning him out at some level. The good things about Raunak were that despite being a small town boy, he adapted very fast into the big city. The character, he started living an excessive lifestyle. He started, that just came from where he was actually. He's a guy who's a workaholic, who's an excessive person. And everybody liked him, everybody wanted to be around him, so he spent a lot of time with people, with friends. Then gradually, his burnout started. It's a combination of the excessive lifestyle he's leading, a lot of drugs he's getting into, which slowly started to cause sleeplessness, which started to cause just a little delusion once in a while. Then came a point where there was a clinical problem as well. There's a debilitating illness which at some level was hereditary. His father's also been through that before him, and that slowly started to distract him from what he wanted to do, which was to make music. And and one fine day he reached a point where no musician wants to be.
He has this debilitating problem which is besetting him in stages, progressively going stone deaf. Rajiv I have known only as an actor on television, and he's a huge star. But coming onto this set, I've met a wonderful, warm, friendly, funny, intelligent young man. And I must reiterate the word intelligent because he's a guy, initially I thought that he's questioning too many things too often. But once we're on the shoot, I realized that all those questions are in the right perspective and it all worked for the betterment of the scene.
Prem Baba, Jaya Mahadeva. Prem Baba, Jaya Mahadeva.
Having a journey where he sort of comes up with this handicap, which is his deafness. Very few people that I would think of, but he has just watched the character to life. So Rajiv, for me personally, work with has been a wonderful co-actor. He's always kept it comfortable. There are no issues as such. He's really friendly and nice and warm. Great energy to have around set. He's done a fantastic job.
I've seen Rajiv in Amir and I loved his performance. I've seen him often on TV in Sach Ka Samna. And I remember looking at his persona on TV in the suit and the long hair and thinking, how will he play this wild DJ? But I think that they've styled him very well. And I know that he's also exploring limits as an actor that he hasn't been to before.
Neerav always had this whole idea of me wearing a tattoo. I have a very cool tattoo in the back, which is in the shape of a guitar. You'll see in a lot of portions of the film me in that tattoo. Lenses were again the idea of Neerav. He knew that it is not easy to accept somebody with a different color of eyes, but he was very convinced that his Raunak would look different. He would have light colored eyes. And when we did the look test, I think it appealed to everyone.
Rajiv is a very good actor. He is a guy who thinks what he needs to do every day. He comes prepared without being anal or without being madly method or trying to be too filmy or too real. He brings a lot to the table in terms of his preparation, which is always beneficial to a director when he's working on the set.
Imagine a musician's life without sound. Well, that soundtrack for you, that's DJ Raunak.
In this film, it's all gone Pete Tong in about 2005 or 2006. And I've always been fascinated with films which can bring in a non-visual element into cinema. So in this film there was a lot of play with sound, the lack of it, and the decadence of sound as the character goes through his journey. So in that sense, one of my first screen credits was as a sound designer. So it was a film which was a series of music videos back to back. It was a film about sound design, and that's something which I said, I actually might be very good at this. Let me give it a shot. So I went about asking the original producers for the remake rights. It took quite a while to get there, but eventually, they were quite happy, saying, "Really, you want to make a Bollywood film?" And I said, "Yeah." And after a couple of years, we took the rights and started scripting and started adapting the film to an Indian context.
Neerav is a very understated guy. Neerav is a guy who's never over the top in terms of his expressions, in terms of his compliments, in terms of his rebuking anyone. I think he's a very mild person, which means that he can always carry a sane mind on his shoulders, which means that he can always be in control. I've rarely seen him go mad on the set. I think he understands all the departments. He's been involved in creative aspects of the films earlier, not soundtrack. He's also been an editor. So I think he has his strengths in place.
I've done many films with first-time directors. The zeal and enthusiasm with which people who are working on a film for the first time. He's very passionate about music. He's very passionate about this film. And it's not that, I've worked with experienced directors as well, it's not that they become blasé, but there is a zeal about making your first film and establishing yourself and making your mark, especially in an industry where people come and go, and you really know that, your first impression is very important. So I think that's why the kind of support, the kind of zeal with that everyone's working on soundtrack is special.
The other part of the energy that I like about this unit is that it is everyone's come with their family. So there's this wonderful
Everyone's come with their family?
Yeah.
My family isn't there.
That's because you can't hear.
So I'm not entitled to a family because I'm deaf?
Yeah.
That's a horrible thing to say.
Do you have family in the film?
Is the deaf community listening to this?
No, they can't listen. They can't listen, but they can listen. So it's this wonderful thing, yeah. Everyone's come with their daughters and things, and it's late, it's nearing 12 midnight. And it's brilliant, it's a Saturday evening, and you can see, so as energy at this hour, even at this hour.
हमेशा दूसरा रास्ता होता है और मोस्टली पर ज़्यादा ब्यूटीफुल ले चलो मुझे जन्नत ओ आवाज़ पुकारो मुझे ये
Soha is a consummate actor. Soha she's a very intelligent woman and a very, very hard-working actor. I have not had enough opportunities of working with people who are way senior in terms of body of work in films. For me, Soha is quite a senior, not in age, but I'm sure in terms of the body of work that she's done. Despite that, she puts in, I think, 100% of her effort in before every scene. I've seen her do all the classes, all the deaf and dumb classes diligently. I've seen her learn sign language, and she's a very cooperative co-actor. You know, she made me feel very comfortable while we were doing the scenes, and it seemed as if I knew Soha from many years. That's, I think, a great quality in any actor.
I enjoyed, felt a bit complex the moment Soha kept her hand on my hand.
Complex?
Yeah, I saw the color difference. Suddenly I realized I need to get my hands manicured.
I'll give you some Ole.
Please do.
3 weeks.
Totally. By the end of the shoot, I'll be as fair as
Obviously, I like the script, that's why I'm here. In fact, I think it's a very powerful script. And I think as an actor, obviously, I'm somewhat challenged by my character, and I'm looking forward to playing it. And it's the first time I'm playing a character who's deaf and who has a speech impediment. So there's lots of things to work on, and it should be fun. And I think that we've got a bunch of very enthusiastic people working on this film. Everyone who believes in it, and so that's also good. And it's, I believe, a haunted location that we're shooting at today. And the idea is to pack up by sundown. And our designer on the film, our stylist Fabiha, claims that women are very prone to being possessed in these areas, especially women with long hair who leave their hair open, which is why I have tied up my hair a little bit.
Soha brought in more to the script than the script gave her, right? Despite it being a very good script. Her professionalism and her preparation for every shot, every dialogue, every moment was something as a first-time director I couldn't even imagine delving. So I am blessed to have had it. I don't think anybody has brought more to the table than Soha did. Soha's is a character called Gauri, who's actually grown up in an environment where art has a lot to do with everyday life. She's a free-spirited character. She's a character who's not taken down by the fact that she's technically handicapped, but she's a person who believes that she's not handicapped but she's special.
Playing Gauri is obviously, for obvious reasons, a challenge for me, which is why I was immediately attracted to doing it as an actor, because it involves me having to learn a whole new skill set. I've never played a character that has any kind of disability before, so to learn sign language, to learn and try and adopt some kind of speech impediment, and yet to play someone who is quite normal and quite fun-loving, was I think interesting for me as an actor.
we've had some crazy shoot here, and there's a lot of making out scenes here. It's been crazy.
My chemistry with Mrinalini is rocking. I think she's a lovely girl. I think she's a wonderful girl. I really enjoy doing scenes with her. We both were very shy doing a couple of scenes, so we struck a chemistry right there. We both are very uncomfortable doing a few scenes, so our chemistry stuck right there. So we got the chemistry right on screen by the time we were to shoot those scenes. She's a very comfortable co-star and a lovely girl.
I don't really think my character has a very negative connotation. She is who she is, and as per the film and as per my character, she is slightly aggressive girl. She will not take rubbish from anybody. If that means getting into a physical fight, then she will get into a physical fight, and it's been done. And she's extremely assertive herself. No one messes with her. No one crosses her path. She's not used to it. That's who she is.
All the songs are worth dying for. It's a film about music, so you can't really not have great music. And it's going to be a show winner.
I mean, I can proudly say that we have superb music in soundtrack. The pundits doing the music now, the medieval pundits are known for fantastic music. And really excited about the feedback one's going to get.
I love the medieval pundits, and so far all the music that I've heard of theirs on this set has been stuck in my head, and I've been doing this non-stop. So I mean, it's great. This music needs to get out to more people, and hopefully this film will get that music out to more people.
It's a fantastic film. The kind of music and everything is very in a hip new zone. Or मजा आ रहा है सुनने में. That's kind of it's something that people have not really made here. I think it's going to be a whole lot of fun.
चंद मजहब हो एक आदिल हो चंद जज्बे हो एक हासिल हो चंद आंखें हो एक काजल हो चंद जाहिल हो एक काबिल हो चंद मुनकिर हो एक कायल हो चंद राहें एक मंजिल एक मंजिल एक मंजिल चंद खंजर हो एक कातिल हो चंद तूफान हो एक साहिल हो चंद घुंघरू हो एक पायल हो चंद गजलें हो एक महफिल हो चंद अहमक हो एक आकिल हो चंद राहें एक मंजिल एक मंजिल एक मंजिल एक मंजिल एक मंजिल एक मंजिल एक मंजिल